All right, how's it going, everybody? Brandon McCaskill here with Momentum Canada. If you're not subscribed to the channel, I encourage you to do so. We get up to talking a lot about everything Canadian politics, from provincial to federal. So if you want to join the family, hit subscribe. So today we're talking about the WEF. So there has been a pretty, at least on the right side of the aisle, a topic of discussion this past week, and which is interesting because the legacy media doesn't seem to be talking about it. But we'll be covering that today, and I'm looking forward to hearing your guys' thoughts and comments on this subject as well. But also, we're going to cover a little bit about the Stephen Crowder and Daily Wire controversy that's been going on this week as well as Ivan I can't even pronounce his last name. Provorov, the hockey player from the Philadelphia Flyers. There was some recent controversy with him. To me, it's not controversial, but the media has obviously made it into something that it doesn't really have to be. So we're going to be covering those things. So yeah, let me know you guys are here by saying what's up in the chat. Like this video too. It really helps the algorithm. Sharing it out, all that stuff really helps. I got Brandon in the chat. Brandon says, first of all, he says, "Let's go, Brandon." Awesome. I think this is the first time I've had another Brandon in the chat. That's awesome. Welcome, Brandon. He says, "Hey, Brandon from Brandon, you are a good guy. We need more of them." Well, thank you. Thank you. Yeah. So actually, before we get started, I have to say thanks to the sponsor of today's show. So I'm going to just take a minute to do that. And it's really great when you get sponsors, because these little channels that aren't government funded, it sure helps a little bit when you can be supported by these people. So this is JVJ. So are you feeling run down and constantly getting sick? Are you struggling to bounce back post-pandemic as quickly as you used to? If so, you may be experiencing a depleted immune system. Fortunately, there is a solution. It's called Ancient Immunizone with Adaptogen from the JVJ DNA company. JVJDNA's.com's founder, a former Pfizer and Johnson staffer. There's actually a story behind that. So if I shared this a couple weeks ago, but yeah, he's a former Pfizer and Johnson staffer, has developed a new immune boosting supplement specifically designed to support and strengthen your immune system, helping you to feel your best and stay healthy. His supplement contains a unique herbal formula called adaptogen. Adaptogen has been shown to support optimal immune function. With regular use, you can expect to see an improvement in your overall health and well-being and shake off the post-pandemic blues. So why wait? Start supporting your immune system today and take control of your health. Try the JVJ DNA Ancient Immunizone with Adaptogen and see the difference for yourself. And don't forget, you can use promo code FIT24 and save yourself 10%. That's FIT24 for 10% off any order at the jvjdna.com web store. Right on. Thank you guys for letting me do that. Awesome. Let's check out the comments. We got Len B in the house. Please remember to like this video to feed the algorithms and then share it out to help grow the channel. Thanks for your help. Yes, appreciate that. Yeah, and I was covering that last week. The way YouTube operates is, and my channel was built on a huge hype event, right? The trucker convoy. So there was a lot of people really engaged during that time. People made YouTube accounts just so that they could do what you guys are doing in the chat right now. And what YouTube does, if they see these people that don't use their accounts often, they wipe them from YouTubers. And it's not uncommon, apparently. And this is just based on my research. So just make sure you're staying active on your account and you're hitting like and you're doing all the commenting and all that. And YouTube will keep me in their happy books. So yeah. Again, if you're not subscribed, I'm almost back to I think 12,900. I think I got a couple left. Two more subscribers and I'll be at the 900 mark. All right. Linby also says, please know that YouTube takes 30% of all donations. We are not government sponsored. Every dollar helps. Please support the channel. Yes. Thank you. Yes. Thank you, Linby. Hello, double Brandon, says PDS. Great to have you in the house, PDS. Dark Horse EUC says, liked. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it. I'd be interested to see and read the ingredients list on J&J product before I can trust it. Yeah, well, put it this way. The guy who's selling this stuff, he's on our side. So, and he left because of reasons we would agree with. So you can actually check it out. Just go to their web store. Pretty sure you could find out all the ingredients there. So yeah, I think, yeah, anyways, we'll move on from that. But yeah, thank you guys for joining today. First topic I want to kind of cover is the WEF. So what was going on? What was going on in Switzerland? This group of elite billionaires that just unelected billionaires who go once a year to go talk about what we should do with our economies, with our how we operate our world. And to me, I just eye roll. Sometimes it feels like I'm living a real life Babylonian Bee article. Do you ever get that, where it's just like, this can't be serious? And there's just so much I could show you, just the silliness of it. And actually, Tucker Carlson. Oh my gosh! If you guys didn't see his segment on the coverage of the WEF, it's just hysterical. And well, it's not all hysterical. A lot of it's just like maddening, and you get frustrated and all that. But yeah, and yeah. So Limby says, Greta showed the entire world just how unknowing and immature she truly is. Yeah, that's something I want to share with you guys. So let me bring that up. And you guys are going to have to be patient with me because, like I said, this is we don't have any producers on the show. I'm the producer. So let's bring up. Let me find it. Okay, so this one is. Okay, I think this is the one I want. No, that's not the one I want. That's the second one. So let me stop that one and find the first one. No big deal. This is the one I want. Okay, so this is how CNN reported it. So because when I first heard about this, I had heard the flip side of this. So I want to start with, this is how they were portraying it. It's kind of like I said, it's hysterical, but at the same time, it's maddening because people are falling for this. It's loading. It's taking a while to load. Holy. Come on now. I might have to refresh the page here. Just give me one moment. Let's try that again.
Well, climate activist Greta Thunberg has been released from custody after being detained by German police for a second time this week. Thunberg had joined protesters to oppose the expansion of a coal mine operation in western Germany. Police say she and other demonstrators broke through a police barrier heading for a coal pit, which authorities say could have collapsed under the weight of the group. Thunberg was also detained on Sunday after addressing demonstrators and joining the protest.
I'm surprised she actually kept a straight face there.
Right.
What
In the halls of Rammstein.
What I'm about to show you is this giggling little girl that can't keep a straight face. So yeah, let's go to part two. Part two, which was the one I brought up the first time. Here we go. As you can see here, smiling. They're waiting and they're posing for the camera. This guy's smiling. These guys, you can't see their faces, but their eyes look like they're smiling. Let's get the shot just right, guys. Let's just, can't screw this up. There's the giggle.
You also want those for you guys?
Yeah, it was all very jolly, laughing along as the police held Greta for the photographers.
There's a Sky News.
She's normally so angry and bitter, but she's smiling and laughing when she's arrested. So anyway, they all got the shots they wanted before the police then walked her away for more shots that they wanted, I suppose.
We are living on a theatrical stage, ladies and gentlemen. And it's the aggravating part is just how many people fall for this stuff. The people that just don't look beyond CNN. Gosh. I feel sorry for those people. So what are you guys saying here? Lynn says, Borla showed the entire world that he's a complete psychopathic murderer. Okay. Yeah. Brandon says there is no independent media allowed at Davos, but they can all bring their private jets and they spend more in a weekend than we do a year. It tells you everything you need to know. Yep, exactly. Yeah, and that's the huge part. I didn't get it. I didn't queue it up and I didn't get it ready, but I'm going to show you guys something that I think is foundational for these demented people's logic. Brandon says, but you need to be more poor, they say. Yeah. Yeah. It's really disgusting. Yeah. So let me bring up, there's another video because Rebel News, I don't know if you guys have been following Rebel News this week, but they've been doing a great job trying to get to the truth, trying to confront people at Davos. And most of the times they didn't get any reactions from anybody, but they're like chasing people down the street with a microphone right at Brandon and we, the taxpayers, for the entire bill. Yep. Yep. All right, let's try to cue that up. So this is a Facebook link. Yeah, this is it here. But of course, just 1 second. All right. Boom and boom. There we go. That works better for me. All right. So yeah, this is Rebel News. It's a long video, so I'll skip through it.
Dutifully transcribed by the media party here.
How dare you?
How dare you?
It is the most important person in the world, according to the World Economic Forum. It is young Greta Thunberg.
The most important person in the world.
So we'll see if we can catch a minute of the young lady's time. Greta, how many times did you rehearse your arrest at the German coal mine? How many times did you rehearse it? Because it looked staged. Is it true? Okay. How many times did you rehearse your arrest? Greta, how many times did you film your arrest and why was it staged that way?
Greta, considering you've not spent much time in school, how do you know so much about climate change?
Greta, maybe you want to talk to a real journalist. What did you talk? You here in Davos? Was it successful?
Greta, as a real journalist, is climate change as real as your arrest?
Greta, how far are you willing to go? You're willing to break the law. Will you renounce violence? Will you renounce violence, Greta? Or do you support Antifa? You've worn an Antifa shirt before. Are you in favor of Antifa?
Love it.
Greta, how did you get here today? What was your climate footprint in traveling here?
What's your plan while you're here, Greta?
Vibe.
See, part of me feels bad because it's like it is a bunch of dudes. Oh, I see a woman there too. I think it's a woman, but kind of hounding this, basically a little girl. I know I think she's like 20 years old now, but it does look a little strange. But at the same time, the world has idolized and put this little girl on a pedestal. And so it's like, what do you expect? But there is a part of me that just like, this is a little strange, but at the same time, very justified confrontation, that's for sure. Let's skip ahead here. They kind of just follow her down the street, and she just continues to giggle and smile.
Greta, avoid my questions if climate change is a con.
Yeah.
Greta, what do you think about Bitcoin?
Well, I think that says enough.
Yep.
Greta, energy prices in Europe have never been higher. Is this a good thing or a bad thing? Are you happy that natural gas is so expensive?
That's something that I think he gets into critiquing her about like, why are you guys so focused on the Western world while the Eastern side of the world is just, completely irresponsible when it comes to the environment, or they just don't even care.
So people can't
skip ahead here.
It would be much simpler.
Oh, what does she say here? She starts to speak.
Greta, who was filming your arrest in Germany? Because it looked like you did that in several takes, didn't you? You were posing with the police.
It's funny.
He's answering for you. He's answering for you. He said you had an agency.
Sometimes I wish I had one. It would be much simpler then.
Well, who was filming you then?
I don't know media.
You don't know who was filming you in Germany? He said he knows. He says it was an agency.
News agency, you idiot.
Do you normally have reporters defending you?
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
very likely that the German police
Well,
and
of course she does. Of course she has reporters from everywhere, all around the world defending her. Read your chat, your comments here. While many are starving around the world, the taxpayers pay for these WEF puppets to jet to Davos to tell us to eat crickets. Yeah. Yeah, you're aware that Jeremy McKenzie is no longer welcome at Scotiabank because of his political views. It's you they're after. Greta Thunberg is part of the same thing, Agenda 2030. Yeah. Yeah, and I listened to Mark Friesen, and he had a little YouTube short about that. He said, guys, because one of his subscribers asked a question or stated something saying that if we just get rid of the WEF, things would get back to normal. He's like, nope, that's not the answer. He said it's this Agenda 2030 is the UN. We all got to start standing up against it. So I thought that was perfectly said. So one WW guy, he says she can only answer a legit question when she has her WF supplied notes. Yeah, and to me, I'm saddened by this. I made a post about this on Facebook yesterday. I just said this, like the media is just exploited, and this is what they're good at. They're good at exploiting the weak. So, and this is before I found out she's actually 20 years old. I thought she was much younger, but when this all started for her, she was much younger. But just in direct comparison, like Joe Biden, they have sure exploited that old guy, whether, whatever he's suffering from, and whether we like him or hate him, they've taken advantage of that. He was just he was a useful idiot when it was convenient for them. And speaking of which, Joe Biden seemed to be just let me share my screen here. There's going to be a lot of awkward pauses here because I'm pretty slow at bringing this stuff up. Here we go. This is from Bloomberg. Davos has it all again, except the world's most powerful person. Biden administration has light footprint at Swiss retreat. So Joe Manchin was there, another unelected person. The world's elite flocked back to the Swiss ski town of Davos this week, celebrating the post-pandemic return of the World Economic Forum. But among the assembled billionaires, bankers, politicians, and philanthropists, there was a low-level grumble. Where are the Americans? Joe was probably sleeping. He was probably unaware of what was going on. Yeah, Joe Biden, who presides over the world's largest economy, Vice President Kamala Harris and Secretary of State Antony Blinken were also no-shows. Nobody from the White House was dispatched to this summit. So I wonder why that was. To me, it's just, I don't know if they were invited. Like, to me, these elitists, these people that are a part of this Agenda 2030, I think they've squeezed the lemon as much as they can with Joe Biden. And that's why we saw, and we're continuing to see them throw him under the bus when it comes to these documents that they're finding in his home and his garage in Delaware. I think they're about ready to turn on him. He's not useful to them anymore. Linby says the UN is our one world government and has been since its inception. Yep. Mark LaForce says her mental health is really worrying. Well, to me, it's like she's so young that they were able to get to her mind. They were able to recruit her at a young age. And when I don't know what her net worth is, but I'm assuming it's in the millions and beyond. When all that's happening to you at that young age, I mean, I just try to remember when I was that age. You would definitely, there would definitely be something going on in your head where it's just, you can't give this up because this is a lifestyle that was handed to you. This is, people look up to you now. So to me, I feel sorry for her that she was exploited in that way. But as she becomes an adult, she's becoming more and more accountable for her own actions. So I think she's about there. 20 years old, right? I think you become an adult at 18. What is it now? 18? I know in the States it's 21, right? Limby says, I've been yelling about the UN for years, but everyone just thought I was crazy. No, it's going to be mainstream news soon. When it's convenient, it'll be mainstream news. One WW guy says, ban the WHO, the WEF, and the UN for starters. Yeah, and it takes. Now, I don't even have an opinion on Leslyn Lewis. I know she had some arguments during the last. I just saw this debate. I can't remember what debate it was a part of, but she was going after Pierre Poilievre, and which I'm not even going to try to protect the guy, but she was saying things that weren't true. Like, you could just Google it and find out that it wasn't true. So it was just like, I do have mixed feelings on her, but she's been nailing it when it comes to holding the WEF accountable and keeping them out of Canadian politics. So I like what she's been saying. I don't know if you guys been following. I haven't really dug into who Leslyn Lewis is and all her stances are on everything, but on the subject of the WEF, she seems to be nailing it and being willing to stand up and call it out. So we need more voices like that, especially from these leaders that are considering or running for prime minister. Not considering, they are. John Kerry was also there. Yeah, he's the environmental Caesar for the U.S. Yep, I saw that. Right on. Thanks very much for giving free speech a platform. Here's a plug for Jordan Peterson rally, number 2 in Toronto on Friday, February 3rd at noonish. Awesome. I think he's there himself this time. Awesome. Yeah, if you're in Toronto, get out there, support Jordan Peterson. Poor guy. He's been through so much. I watch a lot of his daughter has a podcast. She's a smart gal too. And sounds like she was kind of taking care of him and walking him through his battle with whatever. I can't remember what he was diagnosed with, but he had some physical and health struggles, and she seemed to be his North Star and during all that. So it's interesting hearing her perspective on what's going on with her dad, and it's heartbreaking, that's for sure. Let me get caught up here. He sure is. I adore Jordan, but he's under very heavy attack at the moment. Leslyn Lewis is one of the few PCs I trust, much more than Poilievre. Yeah. Now, yeah, like I said, my only fault with her was that clip I saw that was just blatantly false. So it was just like that, like a quick Google search. But people make mistakes, so I'm willing to give grace for people like that, for sure. Not throwing Biden under any bus, they are pulling him out before the violence of the revolution starts. They did the same in GB, France, now New Zealand. Soon Biden and Trudeau will be removed soon. I wouldn't be surprised. Please remember first to pray. Absolutely. There's not an hour that goes by where I'm not praying. Yeah, it's definitely the main ingredient of our fight, that's for sure. But they are all being replaced with planned opposition. Yeah. So, yeah, okay. So before we move on from Greta, I just wanted to highlight something here. So let me exit this if I can. Okay, awesome. My internet's being a little bit slow today. It's because I got the stream going and I got a bunch of tabs open, so it's making everything lag. Here we go. All right. I will share my screen with you. All right, here we go. I wanted to bring this up because I think it's about a minute in, this girl testifies of why it's so important that we act on climate change now. And I think this is the the foundation of their argument.
Ask you a question. If you're sailing across the ocean and you're picking up trash along the way, and for every one piece of trash that you pick up, there's a boat right next to you dumping out 5 pieces, how would that make you feel?
If you use that logic, then I am also dumping a lot of trash in the ocean. And then I would stop dumping my trash in the ocean and tell the other boat to stop dumping their trash in the ocean as well.
And that's the important point here. I think that what we need to be doing is we need to be focusing on the countries that are dumping trash in the ocean. Of course, that's a metaphor. The fact that China is, here we are talking about reducing emissions, yet China, under the Paris Accords, are going to be increasing their emissions by nearly 50%, 5 gigatons annually. So while in the United States, we need to continue investing in innovative solutions and exporting clean energy technologies, it makes no sense for us to be doing it if we're simply watching for increases in China.
I have a question.
This is it here.
When your children ask you, did you do absolutely everything in your power to stop the climate crisis, when the storms are getting worse and we're seeing all of the effects of the climate crisis, when they ask you, did you do everything? Can you really look them in the eye and say, no, sorry, I couldn't do anything because that country over there didn't do anything. So if they're not going to do it, then I'm not.
See, I think that's the foundation of their argument. I mean, we've heard that before, but that's really it. Like, if we don't at least try, we can't sleep well at night. And how can you look your kids in the eye? It's this big emotional stir that they're pulling people in with. But where's the emotional stir with the other side of the argument, saying, how can you look at your kids in the eye and say, you can't have your freedoms so that we can implement these strategies that have zero effect on the world? How can you look your kids in the eye and restrict their freedom? These people that are saying this, like Greta Thunberg, whoever this girl is, they haven't even felt the pinch of what it feels like to live without freedom, because these young kids, these young girls are being paid, and they're living the lives that ordinary people like your kids and my kids, they don't get to live. So it's really rich. It's really rich coming from the rich. But that, yeah, I just want to share that because I think that's the foundational argument for them. Now, just one more thing before we move on from the WEF stuff. I thought this was interesting. This is, and before I read it, I'll read your guys' comments. So just let me bring it up. Yes, this is it. All right, so let me read your guys' comments here. Mike Mole says, please find the Leslyn Lewis clip you're referring to. I'd really like to watch it. Yeah, so that was during, I actually made a video comparing mass immigration and sustainable immigration, the two perspectives of Pierre Poilievre and Maxime Bernier. And in that clip, or wait, I think I'm talking about the wrong video. Yeah, I'm talking about the wrong video. So I'll have to find that for you, Mike. I know it's in one of my videos, but there's a clip of Leslyn Lewis on stage saying that Pierre Poilievre is against Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. That's what she said. Pierre is against cryptocurrency. And basically he just was like, no, I'm against centralized. And that's a big difference. Centralized versus decentralized. That's a pretty known thing. You can just Google that. And it's a massive, massive difference. So maybe just a little bit of out of her league to talk about, but that's just something I was just like, that's pretty known. Like, why would she bring that up on stage? But yeah, that's what I was talking about. All right. So what else we got here? Let me catch up with you guys. Jacinda Ahern in New Zealand has already been replaced, and she's worse. And he's worse. He is saying that the government will now go house to house to track down those who are unjabbed. I hope that's not true. That's insane. Well, it wouldn't surprise me because New Zealand was insane itself. PP will not help us. Proof. Ask him if he will rehire the unvaxxed nurses and doctors. Yep. There's just so many questions, guys. There's so many questions I need satisfying answers to from Pierre. And someone actually asked me, I made a little spoof video last night about, it's called Dear Justin Trudeau. I want to make one called Dear Pierre Poilievre. And so I'm going to make that a community post later today. And if you guys don't mind, give me your honest thoughts and try to keep it short because I want to include as many comments as I can. I know it's hard, but just think of something short and sweet, even if it's a question or whatever. But if you're not sure what I'm talking about, go watch that video I just made called Dear Justin Trudeau. I want to make it Dear Pierre Poilievre. And I'm going to do a few of them, whether it's Jugmeat Singh or Tim Tam or whatever. But I want to do a couple of them, give you guys opportunity to have your voices heard. And if you don't want your name plastered on the video, then don't comment, because I'm not going to be blurring names out, because when you do comment, that is public. So I'm going to use them. So just be mindful of that. All right. So you guys are just chatting here. In my honest opinion, PP does not have the balls to actually stand up to the bullies. Yeah. Time will tell. We'll see what he does. See what he does. Now, here's a question for you guys, because this is what kind of bugs me in the back of my head with Pierre Poilievre, and how we say that there's certainly a pull from the UN side to use Pierre as a puppet, the same way they're doing Justin. But why is it that Justin and Pierre don't get along? Is it all an act? Like, for the longest time, even before I was aware of what the World Economic Forum was, Pierre seemed to be at Justin Trudeau's throat all the time. So what is it? Like, if they're working together for the same overlords, why aren't they getting along more? Or are they behind closed doors? Are they having parties together? I don't know. Curious to know your guys' thoughts. Climate crisis is a hoax and nothing more than a grift for our tax dollars. Yeah, well, I'm sure there is things to talk. I'm sure there's real science to talk about and things we can do, but it's just like, it's so politicized that I don't even like talking to people about it. It's just like, no, I'm not concerned about it. Put it that way. If even Provorov doesn't wear a rainbow warm-up jersey, billions of people will suffer because he's standing up for what he believes. Yeah, and we're going to get to that. Thank you, Mike. Thank you. We're going to bring that up here soon. All right, Leslie Lewis clip. I'll look for it. Thanks. I'm a subscriber and I'll find it. Perfect. Thank you, Mike. Appreciate you. Nitrogen and CO2 are both necessary for healthy plant, tree, and food growth. That's why they're being attacked by the globalists, who all want us dead. It's true. Like, why are we? I'm pretty sure there's more potent forms of carbon, like methane. That's way worse, and they're not crying about that. Well, I guess some people are, but that's not the focus by any means. Mike says, your Dear Justin piece was great. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, well, yeah. I think there's got to be a little bit of levity in this time that we're living in. I try to bring a smile to people's face while at the same time giving them a chance to express their minds and their hearts. Pierre went to a parade in Vancouver yesterday with turd and dog meat. Okay. So, yeah, so we'd have to draw from that. What does that mean? Like, are they friends, or did they have to go? Or I don't know. I bet they are all being forced to at each other's skin. It's all part of the game. Right. It's all part of the game. See, that's I love watching movies, and I love creating stories, and I always thought it would be cool, because I'll get into this later too. I wrote a book, and it's available right now on Amazon.com, but I always pictured my book being a movie, and always like run through my head, who would be the best actor? And I have a thing for catching bad actors. And to me, it's just like, either Pierre is a really good actor, or, right? I don't know what to believe. He could be just this phenomenal actor. But I'm not going to deny that there's something going on that he doesn't want to talk about. And I think it's about time he comes into the limelight and exposes those things, whether it's his life being threatened or whatever. I don't know, but I think now's the time, with the rise of populism. It's going to do him a favor. It's not going to do him a disservice. That's my opinion. And any pro Pierre Poilievre fans out there who want to kind of challenge me on that, I'd be interested to know in what he would lose if he came over to, let's say, the PPC side and start speaking our language. Like, what would he lose? I'm interested to know. I think those of you on my channel know that I'm never a closed-minded person. I'm always willing to learn. So educate me. Pierre is a globalist who is saying all the right things to get elected. PPC is the only political party that denounced the UN and all the other globalist alphabet agencies. Yeah, so that's my question. What does he have to gain? Like, is it just money? Like, I'm pretty sure he's wealthy already, but what is it? Is he scared? Is there someone hanging over him? I don't know. Is he scared for his family? I don't know. I'd like to know all those things. Here's a scoop. The Liberal cabinet and the Furher are in Hamilton today, and the next two. Some of us might be on the late news, independent media only. Oh, nice. Nice. Yeah, and back to Pierre about, because I want to remember his name. In the U.S., Trump's attorney general. What was his name? Guy with glasses. Chubbier guy. Anyway, for the longest time, I was seeing him on the different news outlets, and I loved what he had to say. He seemed like a very sharp, intelligent, and good-hearted guy, like standing up for the rule of law, purging the bureaucracy in the FBI, and all this stuff. But then it came, and I got to be careful here because YouTube is sensitive towards this subject. When it came to election questions, he was so fast to dismiss it. I don't know if you guys noticed that, but he was so fast to dismiss it right after, a month before, saying that the election was prone to this stuff. He had just warned the American people about it, and then a month later, he couldn't say it fast enough that there was nothing there to be seen. Without looking, without digging into it, without investigating. So for me, obvious questions ring out, like what happened? Who got to him? Who got to him? I mean, I just imagine myself, if someone came after my family, what am I going to choose? The safety of my family or the right thing to do? I would just pray that I would never, ever be in that position. And I pray none of you would ever be in that position. So those are my questions. Yeah, let me be drawing a blank on it. Yeah, I can't remember. Yeah, I forget people. I forget people's names right as soon as they tell me when I meet them. So definitely not going to remember them if I haven't spoken about them in a while. Our civilization is being dismantled right before our eyes. Right now is the time to act. The time for talk has 99.9% passed. You're right. You're right. Yep. Good morning, all. Darcy. Good morning, Darcy. Great to have you. Poilievre is fence-sitting to maintain the support of the party establishment. All right. With ESG right around the corner, I believe that's the drive behind these actors. Time is of the essence for sure. William Barr, that's it. Bill Barr, right. That's it. PP is on record promoting the mandate forced vaxes. We got to him. Ask Epstein. Yeah, right on. Thank you guys for that. All right, so let's read this article so we can put that to bed. This is mutiny erupts among WEF staff over role of Mr. Davos. So this is from The Guardian, and I picked up some notes here. I thought it was interesting. So apparently there's people within that are anonymous, that within WEF staff that are complaining about like how out of touch Klaus Schwab is. So let's read a little bit here. The future of Klaus Schwab, Mr. Davos, for more than half a century has become a talking point at this year's meeting after World Economic Forum employees voiced strong criticisms of the chair and the lack of succession strategy. A group of current and former WEF staff members who contacted The Guardian said the 82-year-old Schwab, see, this is where I'm like, no, he's older than that, because even here they say 1938. So he's 90. No, he's 85 this year. Yeah. So he's 85 this year, and he'll be 92 by Agenda 2030. So that's always my question. Like, what? Why don't you just go retire, go live in a cottage somewhere? You're 92 years old, and you're after the world in this way. Like, is it all about legacy with this guy, so he can die knowing that he did something about this? Yeah. Anyway, they got the wrong age there. Was a law unto himself, and surrounded himself with nobodies who were incapable of running the organization he founded in the early 1970s. Klaus has been at the helm of the WEF for 52 years. When he was born in 1938, 122 of the 195 states in the world right now did not even exist. He is completely unaccountable to anyone inside and outside the organization. So maybe he's just moving too slow for them. That's my take. I don't know. What do you guys think? Makes sense to me. They're trying to fast forward this thing so they can have the agenda right on time. So they're trying to cut away dead weight. That's why Joe Biden probably wasn't there. That's my guess. Narcissists can't quit. That's right. Give him the chip first so we can shut him off. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Oh, guys. All right. So let's pivot here. I'm going to stop talking about the WF for a second here, and we'll start talking about just briefly the Steven Crowder and Daily Wire controversy. You guys been hearing about that? So essentially, and I'll play a little bit here. Steven Crowder, if you don't know what who Steven Crowder is, it's the Louder with Crowder show. He's been like censored hardcore for so many years. He's probably one of the most famous, most successful conservative voices on social media, or at least YouTube. But he came out and had pointed out some problems with an offer that he was given by an anonymous, like he didn't disclose who it was, an offer from this company. And he highlighted the problem, saying it was these conservative outlets acting on behalf of big tech when it comes to censorship. So obviously a huge accusation, saying that the conservatives are acting on behalf of big tech. And so that video went viral overnight, and they got a response from the Daily Wire, who they knew he was talking about them. Now, Stephen didn't disclose their name, so Daily Wire made a video the next day saying, no, Stephen's just misunderstanding our contract. And they went through it, how their offer was like $50 million for the year for him to come onto their platform and for them to produce his content for him. And he wasn't a fan of what this meant in terms of contract. And so there's been a back and forth battle. It seems to just another division cycle going on. I mean, I see that right now with on the Canadian side. Now, there's a bit more nefariousness going on the Canadian side with the World Unity Convoy and this stuff, but there is division amongst us. So when I see this going on over in the States, another reason to divide on, it's just like, what are we doing? Like, why can't we unite like our enemies unite? Our enemies unite very, very well. I see that I don't even like saying enemies. The people who oppose us, I guess in many ways they are enemies. But for my own sake, I'll say the people who oppose us. They're very, very good at linking arms, because their end goal is to basically just destroy us. When you have that goal in common, you can kind of put your differences aside. So I thought that was interesting. Actually, Steven Crowder is supposed to be on Tim Pool this afternoon, so I'm going to be interested to see how that goes, because a lot of people, they were upset with him. And here, I'll show the clip. This is the second video. So he made one video, Daily Wire responded, and then Steven made another video, and his second video is the one that people had problems with. And even I'm kind of sitting back on saying, that wasn't cool, man. So let's do this one, I guess.
So
It's just in the first like 10 seconds.
They don't get deals that they can be wage slaves for a little bit, come over and make a salary and grow their brand. They can be wage slaves for a little bit. They can be wage slaves for a little bit.
God bless the talk. All right, then he goes into it and kind of reiterates his position on this not being about money, but the principle of the thing of standing up for young voices like mine who want to come up without worrying about censorship and being careful about what we say. He wanted to create an environment through Mug Club to provide that. And he's saying he's doing really well. Why can't you guys do this same model I'm doing instead of being so careful and walking on eggshells around the media? The social media platforms. So this is still, this battle's still going on. And like I said, this is going to be something I'll be paying attention to specifically this afternoon because he'll be on Tim Pool. But yeah, I'm not sure what you guys think. Let me know. Let's see what you guys here got here. Schwab's father owned the company which worked with the Norwegians to produce heavy water. And if you research that and how Klaus was weaned, you'll get it. Yeah. I watched a documentary on him last year and I don't remember a whole lot. Viva Fry, CDN lawyer, assessed that contract, stated how bad it was and that he would never sign it as it stood. Interesting. Yeah. Well, he's a lawyer, right? So, I should watch that. Thank you for telling me that. I want to watch that. All right, let's keep going here. Unity should mean the joining of individuals for a common goal, freedom. You would think. You would think. Now, I don't know if you guys have been paying attention with Rick Walker on Maverick Multimedia. The guy to me, he looks exhausted. No wonder he does 6-hour streams like every day. But yeah, he seems to be making some people angry with what he's saying, but with what he's digging up, with what he's presenting. And he seems to believe that there's infiltration going on with this whole world unity thing. And he's got the receipts to back it up. So it's just like, now what I wish he would do is take the time to condense it. Cause like I said, 6 hours, you should condense it into, Rick, if you're watching, send me some bullet points and I'll make some short videos, because if this is as important as you're saying, we need to make this easy for people to absorb and get information quickly. Like, I don't want to be sitting through a 6-hour video, multiple 6-hour videos trying to get information. So we need to, if this is something that's important, let's get it out there. And if we're wrong about it, people can correct it quickly. Because that's my only critique to people who do super long. Even these streams, I don't try to make these streams about where you guys get your information from. This is more just a chat. This is a conversation with you guys. The informative videos I do are usually edited and pretty easy to share and absorb. So that's the only critique I would have of him. But like I said, he's got some concerns, and I think they're valid concerns. And so we definitely have to be careful. All right. Okay, Michaela Peterson, whom you referenced, posted a video on her channel about Daily Wire and the Crowder business recently. Awesome. Thank you. I'll check that out. Crowder has limited intelligence. He does not know enough to know when to talk versus rant. I agree with that. Well, he's a comedian, right? To me, like, my whole perspective was like, they both have lawyers. I'm like, why are you guys having a lawyer conversation? Like, this seems to be the job that your lawyers should be battling out, not the two of you. I was very sad when I saw that, but I also believe ESG is a big player in all avenues lately. I want freedom for my grandson's future, gleaning info on how Canadians are working toward that goal. Yes, me too. I don't have grandkids, but I want that too. Born and raised in Brampton, fortunately bought in the country, brought in the country 30 years ago, and just on the edge of insanity as urban sprawl approaches. Yeah, I agree. I love Rick, but his videos are far too long and multifaceted. Not many of us can sit for 6 hours at a time to hear what he has to say. Totally agree with it about short videos. Yeah, so yeah, I really hope, because I think it's so important. I think he's probably the, actually, I won't say the only one, but he's the only one who's digging so deep, and he's ruffling a lot of feathers. He's the only one that's ruffling feathers, I'm pretty sure, at his level. I mean, he's got a good following. So yes, that's my invitation to Rick. If he just wants to send me some bullet points, I can credit him for doing all the work. But if you need someone to just condense it, easy to understand, get it across to people as soon as possible, I think that's very, very important. I mean, what's the date today? January 23rd? We're coming up pretty soon to the anniversary. So I don't know if we can get it done on time, but, and I can't put on Rick. He works a job. He's only one man, like us grassroots independent organizations. Sometimes we just don't have time. Like I have a young son that I raise. I do a full-time job doing voiceover. Like we're not sitting around here twiddling our thumbs, that's for sure. Plus you got to do all the research, be prepared for that. These live streams are actually my break. These are where I get to just decompress and hang out with my peeps. Honeycomb says, Rick has talked about this for over 2 weeks, and people still call into the show saying they need proof. Talk about the dense people. He shows you the proof. Yeah, that's the thing. It's all there. It's all there. You just got to have the time to sort through it. Oh, no, that's terrible, Mike. Okay, so you guys are chatting. Sorry for interrupting. Rick Walker is awesome, and he's on the cutting edge with revealing that the cabal is setting up the Winnipeg protesters. Yes. Agree. Mark Friesen also does a great job. His videos are really short and extremely well explained. Yes. Yeah. Short and sweet. That's the key. And there's Mark Friesen's channel. Yeah, go give him some love. I was supposed to have him on the show a few months ago, but it just never happened. Certainly willing to have him on again. Yeah, but so let's pivot. We talked about WF. We talked about Crowder. I want to just briefly touch, because I got to go here in seven minutes, 1 o'clock, almost 1 o'clock. This hockey player that I don't watch the NHL. I know I'm a Canadian. I don't watch hockey. I play hockey. I'm really good at hockey, but I don't pay attention to players and stuff like that. I never watch games. So I never heard of this guy until this controversy came up. And so essentially the Philadelphia Flyers were holding their event for Pride Month, or not Pride Month, but showing support for Pride and wearing multicolored jerseys, and he refused. And the media has been exploding on him. So what I wanted to show you was this one. If I can ever get this open. There we go.
I respect everybody, and I respect everybody's choices. My choice is to stay true to myself and my religion. That's all I'm going to say.
With Provi, he's being true to himself and to his religion. This has to do with his belief in his religion. And it's one thing I respect about Provi. He's always true to himself. And so that's where we're at with that.
So this guy was super respectful. His attitude was just like, this is who I am, leave me alone. But was that good enough? Was that good enough for the media? Unfortunately, it wasn't. So here's the next clip. This is something I found. It was going around. I just thought it was head smacking. Breakfast television. Listen to this guy.
The National Hockey League is going to do this. If any league is going to do this, do it properly or reevaluate what you're doing. Because there's not a lot of repercussions that I'm seeing from any league. Now, it could change with the NHL. Could change with the NHL. I think you fine the Flyers $1 million for this. I'm not kidding. Figure this out and stop offending people on nights where it's not about that. It's supposed to be about inclusivity. The National Hockey League need to attack this and figure this out. Because what I heard last night was offensive and didn't make any sense. Because, for instance,
if allowing someone to be who they are, and like we said, we just saw a 5-second reply, not even. Where are we as a country, where as a nation, as a world, where you can't just say, leave me alone. You can believe what you want. He said, that's what he said. He said, I respect everybody's decision to do what they want. He said, but I'm remaining true to myself. Now, listen to the comparison this guy brings up.
that was a military night, okay?
Right.
If it was a
Anyone
military
in Canada
night,
or in the States on a military appreciation night wouldn't wear a jersey pregame, do you have any idea the uproar that would have happened on that?
well, you're boiling my blood, sir, comparing military to rainbows and unicorns. And by the way, this isn't directly related to the military, but when I was in high school, we would stand for the national anthem, right? Respect to our country. And there were some people that I knew that they were Jehovah's Witness. And they don't, it's against their religion to stand for a flag, to stand for anything other than God. That's one of their rules. So I would go out into the hall because I'd have to go take a leak and I'd get caught. I'm walking, and then the announcement would be like, all right, stand for the national anthem. And I'd like busting to go pee. And it's like, oh, Canada. So I'm standing there like, hurry up. But I would, when I was caught out in the hall, most times, these people that were Jehovah's Witnesses were sitting on the floor in the hallway outside their locker. And I don't ever remember anybody being offended or, treating them badly. People minded their own business and respected the fact that, okay, yeah, that's what they believe. They're not making a big deal of it. They're sitting by themselves. They're not on national TV trying to make a statement. So that's what it made me think of back then. And I just really wish we could get back to that, just letting people believe what they want. I don't know. Anyways, that guy boiled my blood. I don't need to share any more of that. But my understanding is this player, Ivan Provorov, my understanding is his jersey has sold out online. People have been supporting him by buying it. So that's kind of cool. And just goes to show that the silent majority has spoken. All right, so let me just catch up with your guys' comments. Appreciate you guys. Sports are overpaid Roman games to keep us from engaging. I agree. I'm so detached from sports. After Jeremy being canceled, I'm actually attempting to brainstorm with Mark Friesen to start another Patriot banking system across Canada. I'm very nervous, so I hope somehow we can make it happen. That'd be interesting. You will be attacked. I can guarantee you, you'll be attacked. Thanks a lot. I coached rep hockey for 20 years. Some of them made the big show. It's totally woke now. Yeah. Winnipeg Tullamore, I would go for sure. All right. Someone I know on the inside recently joked that the NHL is so woke that the teams have all removed the urinals from team dressing rooms. Gosh. Yeah, no thanks. Seriously, Mike? Yeah. Darcy says, I agree, Brandon. We're all individuals like everything else around us. Yeah. Right on. Well, thank you guys. I'll end this just with letting you guys know, that my My new novel is out, is available on Amazon. You just go to amazon.ca, or if you're in the States, just go to amazon.com, type in A Prayer for Walton Bay, and it should come up. But it's available, and I'm currently working on the audiobook, so that's taking a long time. But anyways, guys, thank you so much. Thank you so much for doing what you do. You guys are very supportive of this channel, of myself. I feel very at home when I'm talking to you guys here. It's really cool. And so I hope you guys have a good rest of your week. And again, if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Let's get me up to 13,000 subscribers. That'd be awesome. Let's keep this channel growing and growing, because I think we're going to need channels like this just to give you guys opportunity to come and decompress, have a little chat. And yeah, thank you guys. Take care. Bye for now. Have a great one.